Welcome to the White Spring Bunker.
These halls were built to safeguard some of the most prestigious members of the United States government.
Now we are all that remains, though we are always looking for men and women capable of restoring what has been lost.
Won't you spare me over another year? What is this that I can't see with us hold hands taking hold of me? When God is gone and the devil takes hold, who will have mercy on your soul? No wealth, no ruin, no silver, no gold, nothing satisfies me but your soul. Well, I am death and none can tell if I'll open the door to heaven or hell. My name is Death and the end is here. Lil, I'm sorry I didn't get to say goodbye, and at this point I don't particularly believe that I'll ever have that chance. A letter is a poor substitute, but it's all I have to give. If you're reading this, I'm glad you're all right. We just ran out of time, and I'm so sorry I couldn't come for you and your team. I don't expect that I'll be remembered kindly, or at all, for the choices I've had to make. The things I've done, the people I've sacrificed for doing what I thought was right. We didn't agree about a lot of things, but you never judged me. You accepted who I was the way I accepted you. Even if we didn't share blood, I was proud to call you sister, of the messed up little family we became when some of the real Stein pushed through Modus's bullshit and he basically adopted us. God, we were still kids, even if neither of us were ever really children. I'll miss how he used to call you his rambunctious little carnivore. I'll miss the way you sounded when you complained at me for setting any kind of boundaries at all. I'll miss how free you were, even when it made me envious. I'll miss all of it. One last boundary, if you'll humor me. Do try not to eat too many people, Lil. Or at least, make sure they're the really bad ones. I know asking you to avoid causing mayhem in general is like asking a leopard to change their spots, and I wouldn't try. But there will always be monsters who want to be in charge. And that's where maybe you can find a way to put that incredible intellect of yours to productive use, making their lives terrifying, miserable, and unsuccessful. I'm running out of space, and if I can't be honest now, well, but I'll actually miss your pirate jokes. I tried really hard never to show it, but I thought they were funny. Mostly. Your sister, Val.
Several miles from the banks of the Ohio River, spread out across a series of open fields, the survivors of Appalachia were coming to terms with what they had just experienced, and trying to comprehend the cataclysm visible across the eastern horizon. The rugged peaks of the Savage Divide, once rising majestically above Appalachia, were now nothing more than broken and blasted monuments to the hubris of humanity. Below the peaks, almost the entire region was enveloped in a thick purple-tinted fog, illuminated by bright flashes of either lightning strikes or criticality events as the burning veins of ultrasight added to the unearthly glow. Commander Johns, Sergeant Muller, and Paladin Valdez had taken charge of the refugees, providing a measure of order, while volunteers distributed food, provided medical care, or helped reunite loved ones who had gotten separated during the evacuation of Alttown or the crossing of the Ohio. For others, it was also time to mourn the lost and the dead. But for all of them, there were also the unknown. What would they do? Where would they go? And what would the future hold? Sergeant Muller was contemplating those very questions, cradling his child in his arms as he watched Day and his scouting party return from Point Pleasant.
Day, anything to report?
The young man wiped the sweat from his brow before looking at Muller. The old sergeant recognized that look, the 1,000-yard stare they used to call it.
It's gone. All gone. The radiation is tolerable on this side of the river, but on the other side, it's beyond lethal. We couldn't see much. Nothing moving at all.
What about the Onai?
If the radiation and the blast didn't kill them, maybe they wandered off with nothing around to control them.
Don't like the idea of even one of those things left alive. When you had Scorched and Super Mutant together, who the hell knows what'll actually kill them, besides the application of overwhelming firepower.
All those people. They may have been cultists, but...
We owe them our lives, Day. Them and whatever those things were. Insects, monsters, gods. I don't rightly know. But I do hope they found that divine light they were looking for.
It's just... I never wanted any of this to happen.
Muller gave Day a sad little smile before putting his hand on the young man's shoulder.
This world ain't fair, Day. But this, my wife, my kid, this is all worth fighting for. You're young, got your whole life ahead of you. And because of all those folks who laid down their lives, we have a chance.
Chance for what? I don't know.
To live. You're a good kid with a big heart. The world needs you now more than ever. Anyway, I saw you with the Paladin.
We were,
Son, you still got a lot to learn, but I think you're on the right track. Well, it's about time to get this little one fed, then we need to find a new home, because the more ground we can put between us all that mess, the better.
Thank you, Sergeant.
I think it's long past time I hang up my spurs, Day. Just call me Edwin.
Then thank you, Edwin. I did want to ask, did we, find the Overseer?
Damn woman. No one's seen her since she clocked you one. I'm still hoping and praying she's somewhere back in all that mess. Fitting end if you ask me for all the trouble she caused.
I feel responsible. If I just realized sooner what she was.
Don't beat yourself up, Day. We all make mistakes. It's what we do with the lessons we learn from them that counts. She's still kicking. I have a feeling she'll get what's coming to her. Now, why don't you go find the Paladin? Got a feeling she'd be glad to see you.
Cradling his child, Muller turned and walked back in the direction of his own makeshift camp, while Day took one last look over his shoulder before heading towards where the Paladin had set up camp with the rest of the Brotherhood survivors. As he approached, Day saw Valdez opening up ration crates and handing out supplies to the waiting line of refugees. Spotting him out of the corner of her eye, the Paladin handed out a few more rations before waving. Before Day could walk over, there was a commotion as a tall, red-headed woman ran out of the crowd and over to where Odessa was standing. The Paladin looked surprised, then ran to the woman, jumping into her arms. Day walked over, and Valdez saw him. She disentangled herself from the woman and turned to face him.
Day, it's good to see you. I would like to introduce you to Beth. She's my good friend.
Beth rolled her eyes before swatting Odessa on the shoulder, leaning in to whisper in her ear.
It's all right. We're together in this universe too. I checked.
Oh, thank God. I've just been flailing.
Everyone says you should marry your best friend, don't they?
Well, Beth, it's nice to meet you. And any friend of Odessa's is a friend of mine.
Day offered his hand to Beth, who shook it firmly.
I'm really glad to hear that, Day. The two of us have a lot to catch up on, but after, I can come find you.
Actually, I learned something that the both of you need to hear. Odessa, there's one more scene the two of you need to play out before we can go.
Well, that sounds mysterious.
If this is about what I think it is, you have no idea.
The trio walked over to one of the makeshift tables and were soon engrossed in hushed conversation. Day's eyebrows climbed higher with every word.
Okay, so maybe building a killer assaultron was a little easier than this.
If I hear another word about you and that sheep squatch thing...
Imposter sheep squatch. And see, that was my mistake. Back in the day, I kinda had this thing for sheep squatch.
Crikey, that really is the last thing I want to hear about.
It's not like that, I swear. I was a cryptid hunter, you see.
That's it. I'm going to make you eat this wrench. I swear to God.
Shadow, would you please not kill Ares?
I need a break anyway. I'll just wait until he's asleep. Then I'm gonna slit his throat.
Thank you kindly, Sophia. I don't think old Shadow over there appreciates my sense of humor.
Given everything that's happened, can you blame him? So, what's the prognosis?
Well, it ain't good. There's only so much I can do without actual replacement parts. And last I checked, there aren't any.
I guess it was good while it lasted. Anyway, I think we'll be heading out soon. Looks like we'll be leaving this old girl behind.
Real shame. But I think it's time for me to find some new scenery.
Aren't you coming with us?
Can't say y'all haven't been a real barrel of monkeys, but I think it's high time I get back to what I do best.
Don't tell me you're going back to hunting cryptids.
No, ma'am. I mean, to be honest, more of a cryptid researcher. After spending all that time with Red, Cherry, and Antlers, I'm convinced the wasteland needs someone like me to figure out what makes these cryptids tick, and maybe find a way we can all live together.
You know, that's actually a pretty noble goal. I expect you'll get yourself eaten, Ares, but still, a noble goal.
Oh, ye have little faith. Besides, I managed to convince Antlers and Cherry to let me tag along. Who else would I ask to help me find the right cryptids out there? And keep them from doing the whole eating Ares thing?
You might just be right. Can't think of anyone better, actually.
And, well, we'll have Big Chef around just in case.
Ares, I don't know what to say. Is Red going with you?
Red? Nah, not that I didn't ask. She's still pretty broken up over Shining. Poor girl. I know what it is like to lose family, and she's lost a heck of a lot more. I think she said she's gonna go home. Unfinished business and all that.
Home. I don't really know what that means anymore.
It means whatever you want it to mean. And I got a feeling these folks are gonna need you. You're an honest-to-goodness astronaut. You have seen things and know things about this world that need passing on. Folks need to stop looking at their feet and remember, if we lift each other up, we can reach for the stars.
You know, Aries, you can be quite eloquent when you want to be.
Thanks, Sophia. But what do you know? My one claim to fame was building a killer assaultron that tried to rip my face off.
You're a good man, Aries. Whatever happened in the past, let it stay in the past. I think that's a lesson we all need to learn.
Sounds like we both have a future to plan. Well, let me take another crack at this engine.
Aries grabbed his wrench and went back to work, while Sophia walked back over to the cockpit. Grabbing the sides to pull herself up, she felt a wave of nausea, and Sophia had to choke back the bile rising in her throat. It wasn't the first time she'd felt sick in recent days.
Given everything that's happened, wouldn't be surprising if I caught something. Guess I should say Naomi. Better safe than sorry.
Resting for a moment, Sophia took a deep breath before pulling herself up again and sliding into the pilot's chair. As she started running a few last test routines on the aircraft systems, she missed the small blinking light that was flashing on the radio. Commander John stood in the midst of the Appalachian refugee camp, helping to direct the volunteers caring for the survivors. It would have been a daunting task during the best of times, but given the circumstances, it might just as well have been impossible.
If we all hadn't put aside our differences, that is.
Johns watched as his new responders worked side by side with Meg's raiders, while Brotherhood initiates and new Enclave soldiers patrolled the perimeter of the camp together, keeping an eye out for creatures and other dangers of the wasteland. The forging of this new identity had come with a cost. Corporal Jameson had been the sole survivor from Vault Town, while Shadow, Weasel, and Thomas were the only ones to come back from the Vertibird from Silo Bravo with Sophia.
I don't know if you're an angel or a devil, Valeria. Maybe you're a bit of both.
As Johns contemplated the horizon, Captain Thomas came limping over on a pair of makeshift crutches.
Johns?
Hey there, Thomas. How are you feeling?
Dr. Harefield said I'll be fine once these burns heal.
Ah, that's good. Have we heard anything from the scouts?
Exactly why I was coming over to see you. They found a few small settlements up ahead. Folks there are pretty skittish. But at least they didn't shoot first and ask questions later.
Thank heavens for small miracles, I guess. I want to give these folks a day or so to rest before we get them back on the road.
What's the plan?
Well, first, get as far away from that mess back there as we can. At least the winds blew the fallout to the east. God help those folks over there. But there's nothing we can do.
Then, where are we going?
We're gonna find these folks a new home. It's the very least we can do. It's what I can do. We all made mistakes, but the job is the same. We protect the people.
We start all over again?
Hopefully better and smarter this time. We have a long road ahead of us. You should get some rest.
Yes, sir. Johns.
Johns cracked a little smile, then watched as Thomas turned and limped back towards the main camp. They would start again, and he would make sure these folks had a future. A heavy cost had been paid to get them here, and Johns would make sure it was worth it.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Ariel.
And we're the hosts of the Legend of Zelda Lorecast, a podcast about all things Legend of Zelda, from Errol to Zora,
and all the fun things in between.
If you're ready to dive deep and learn more about the Legend of Zelda lore and everything surrounding it, come join us on the Legend of Zelda Lorecast. You can find us on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, or wherever else you get your podcasts.
We hope to see you soon.
Remember how I said we were going to have a little talk about your extracurricular activities, Douglas?
Yeah, I do.
Between you and I think you've played the hero enough for a few lifetimes, and I want to make sure you're around for a great long while.
Well, I mean,
You are mighty cute when you're flustered, Douglas. It's quite endearing, actually.
You're pretty endearing yourself, Emily. Well, there was something I was going to ask you.
Oh, and what would that be?
Well, I didn't want to. Oh boy, this is hard.
Emily leaned forward with a sparkle in her eye and put her hand on Douglas's knee.
Maybe I could help you out. Just like the inspector did in Unstoppables issue number 125.
125? You mean...
Before Emily could answer, Jason Barron came running up.
Emily! Douglas! Boy, I'm glad I found you.
Oh, yes. So happy you found us.
Douglas, behave. Now, Jason, what is going on?
Strangest thing. I figured since the jammers are gone, I should pull out one of our old radios. You know, see if I could get in touch with anyone on this side of the river.
That's a good idea. I can't even imagine what people would be talking about what just happened.
Oh, there was plenty of that. End of the world, cursed earth, you know, everything in between. But that's the stuff I expected.
You said it was strange, didn't you?
I found another signal.
Another signal? From where?
From Appalachia, I think. I'm pretty sure. Seems that way.
Back there? That's not possible.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but someone or something is transmitting.
Wait. You don't think someone survived all that?
I don't know. I really don't. The signal is very weak. Could just be automated? I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of it, but I thought maybe you could help?
Well, I can certainly try. We should grab the paladin as well. Between the two of us, we might be able to figure it out for you.
That's great. Again, sorry to interrupt, but I just can't bear the thought of not being sure. You know, just in case.
All right. I'll be right behind you.
Jason nodded and started walking back to the camp. Emily stood up, then turned to face Douglas, reaching down and taking his hand, pulling him up and into her arms.
125. And the answer is yes.
Yes? I mean, yes! Oh, Emily, I love you. I love you so much.
I love you too, you silly, silly man.
Emily leaned in and kissed Douglas, then kissed him again, before hugging him close, then letting him go, blowing him another kiss, and walking to catch up with Jason.
She said yes. She said yes!
With an enormous smile on his face, Douglas watched Emily leave, and he started really thinking about the future for the first time in a long time. Then he thought about the radio signal.
If anyone could...
No, baby doll, we are not getting a Deathclaw.
Come on, Amanda. I mean, Shiny was nice, right?
You haven't met any other Deathclaws, have you?
Well, no.
They all don't like Shiny. In fact, you'd be a bite-sized meal for most of them, baby doll.
I could talk to Red.
Talking to that woman about Deathclaws is the last thing you should be doing right now.
Oh. I guess you're right.
Of course I am, baby doll. I've never steered you wrong yet, have I?
No, you haven't.
Now, once we settle down, I promise we'll get a nice dog, maybe a few cats.
Wait, settle down? The great Amanda wants to settle down with me.
Baby doll, I just meant...
Nothing would make me happier, Amanda. I mean that, truly.
Are you sure?
Oh, are you trying to talk me out of it now?
I wouldn't think of it. It's just a big decision.
Well, when you put it that way...
Baby doll.
I'm just kidding, Amanda. I still want to see the world, but I want to help build something too, and I want to do it with you.
Amanda leaned in and gave Cindy a kiss.
I love you, Cindy.
I love you too. So, what's the plan?
A bar. A damn big bar.
The spider's web?
Nah, the spider's web was a raider bar. I was thinking something a bit more wholesome.
Wholesome? Color me both intrigued and confused.
Do you remember Duchess?
Duchess? The owner of the Wayward?
Baby doll, you are looking at her new business partner.
Wait, business partner?
She and I go way back, and, well, we're both starting over from scratch, so we figured, what the hell?
Look at you. Amanda the Raider, legitimate business owner.
Hey, the spider's web was legit, mostly. And I think it's time to leave those Raider days in the past, where they belong.
Amanda, I am so proud of you.
Thanks, baby doll. Now why don't we go celebrate?
Sounds good to me. So, where are we going?
The Stein and Dine.
The Stein and what?
Stein and Dine. Duchess wanted to change the name anyway. Turns out she and Stein had a bit of an adventure a few Christmases ago. Once she heard what he did for all of us, well, she decided on a new name. And as her new partner, I heartily agree.
Aw, Amanda, that is so sweet. I think the Major would have approved too.
Heard he was one hell of a cook. Just sorry I never really got to know him. So let's go raise a glass to lost friends.
And to a new future.
To our future. Together.
Together. Love you.
Love you too. Now, let's go get that drink.
Amanda took Cindy by the hand and led her through the camp towards where Duchess had set up her makeshift restaurant. It was a pale imitation of what she intended, but the food was hot and the drinks were cold. Well, maybe lukewarm, and the company was cozy. Even in the midst of calamity, human kindness can always be found, if you know where to look. The remaining leaders of the Appalachian survivors were gathered around a small table with a radio sitting on top of it. Off to one side, Jason, Bairn, and Emily were comparing notes, both looking concerned.
This has to be some kind of a trick.
As far as I can tell, it's not.
How can we know for sure?
What would be the point? There shouldn't be anyone left alive back there anyway.
Perhaps there isn't. The transmission is on repeat, but someone set it to broadcast.
Not just anyone. It's the Colonel. It feels deeply weird to hear her singing, but I would recognize that voice anywhere.
Emily walked up to the radio and turned up the volume.
I agree. It's her, all right. How?
She survived the blast. For how long, I don't know, but long enough.
It's the voice of the dead. That's all.
She sent the message for a reason, Johns. Valeria doesn't do anything without a reason.
Let us know that she succeeded? I don't need a message for that.
Something else then, maybe?
That means Val's alive. She survived, and she won't stop trying until something makes her.
All eyes turned to the new arrival. Lilith stood there, her eyes glued to the radio.
Lilith, we can't know that.
Val is alive. I can feel it. She's calling for help.
That's a noble thought, but just look at it out there. Even if by some miracle she survived the explosions, the radiation is off the charts.
I don't care what you think. Val isn't dead. I know it.
I'm sorry, but even if she were alive, even if there was a way to reach her, and if there is, I'm not seeing it, the radiation would kill anyone who got close.
It was impossible for the assembled group to read Lilith's expression. Her fists were balled at her side, while her standard face paint was streaked with what must have been tears.
Lilith. I miss her too.
Lilith took a step forward, looking like she might throw herself at Muller. Day, against his better judgment, put himself between the two.
Hey, this is not going to bring her back, Lilith.
Lilith looked at Day, then her eyes returned to the radio as the message repeated. The same haunting song. There wasn't a person alive who could claim to know what went on in Lilith's FEV-enhanced mind. Whether she was thinking about turning them all into her next meal, or something somehow even more sinister. She blinked once, then twice, before straightening up and looking into Day's eyes.
You're wrong. You're all wrong. She's my sister, and I won't leave her out there alone.
You could cut the tension around the table with a knife, and not a few of the participants had their hands close to their personal sidearms. Lilith was unpredictable at the best of times, but at least the Colonel had been around to serve as some measure of control. But now? Day nearly jumped out of his boots when Lilith moved, not towards the group, but instead she merely turned and walked away. Letting out a collective sigh, the assembled leaders watched her go.
What the hell is she gonna do now?
I couldn't say. Whatever she needs to, I suppose.
I think it's better we don't ask.
Lord have mercy on whoever tries to get in her way, whatever she decides to do.
I'll see if I can have someone keep an eye on her. Though to be honest, I'm not sure anyone here is crazy enough to do it. Valeria's gone. Now we have to think about the future.
The discussion turned to plans for tomorrow and beyond. As Emily and Jason listened in, they were both still thinking about the Colonel's transmission.
You know, maybe she thought we could track it?
The signal is too weak. We were just lucky that the Paladin and I could coax a bit more power from the radio to even resolve anything intelligible at this distance.
Huh. I guess you're right. We need to be a lot closer, of course. We need a more powerful radio.
Yeah, closer. Wait. Oh no.
Emily realized exactly where Lilith was going, and by extension, what she was going to do. Before Emily could speak, all eyes turned to the east as the sound of a vertibird taking off broke the calm of the late morning. They could see the aircraft rise above the trees and head directly toward the fog-enveloped peaks.
Hey everybody, my name is Crawford Smith and I am the owner of Smith's 3D Prints LLC. We are a 3D printing service company that is dedicated to providing you with high quality 3D prints in both resin and filament. We print anything from dice towers to custom D&D figures and cosplay. Located in 44 Pennsylvania, let us know what we can print for you. Follow us on Facebook and join our Discord. Are you looking for more information? Look us up at smiths3dprints.com or give us a call at 570-991-0277. Thank you so much.
Sophia walked back to the vertibird in a daze, her hand over her belly. She was just returning from seeing Dr. Harefield, concerned that her on-again, off-again nausea may have been some wasteland bug, or a result of excessive radiation exposure, even with radiation chems, an ever-present threat in the wasteland. However, the cause was something Sophia simply hadn't imagined at all.
I'm pregnant?
Sophia had been so surprised that she had asked Dr. Harefield to do the test again, but the results were the same.
Oh, Andrew, if only you could have known.
Sophia had lost the love of her life, but he had left her one last gift, and it changed everything. Speaking with Ares had helped her begin to see a future, but now she had a reason to embrace it, not only for her friends, but for her child too. Lost in thought, Sophia hadn't heard Lilith come up behind her. Lilith grabbed her by the shoulder and started talking a mile a minute about the Colonel still being alive, and needing to go find her.
Lilith, you're not making sense. What are you talking about?
Lilith insistently dragged her over to the vertibird and turned on the radio. Shadow trailed after, concerned that Lilith might just have gone completely insane, although he wasn't convinced this wasn't just a change of quality and not quantity. Standing there uncertainly, both Sophia and Shadow watched Lilith put on the headphones and start adjusting the dials until her eyes lit up.
Here, listen to this.
Lilith handed the headphones to Sophia, while Shadow took another set from overhead. Placing them on their heads, they both heard the Colonel's faint transmission. Lilith could see from their faces that they thought the same thing as the others, that these were her last words, but Lilith wouldn't hear of it.
I'd know if she's dead. Val is out there, and I need to get to her.
There's nothing we can do, Lilith. I'm sorry.
If Stein were here, he'd do anything to save Val. Anything.
Those words struck deep, and Sophia exploded.
Yes, I know, Lilith. My Andrew is dead. Why should I risk all I have? All I have left of him?
Shadow prepared to step in, anticipating a reciprocal explosion from Lilith. Instead, the vicious young woman seemed to wilt in front of them.
I'm sorry. I miss him too. I never got to say goodbye. I can't let Val go. She's all I have. Please, just get me close. I'll find her, and you'll never have to see me again.
Lilith, the terror of the wasteland, cried. Sophia felt her anger evaporate. She put her arms around the young woman and hugged her. Lilith bristled at first, then put her head on Sophia's shoulder, weeping like a child. The new life she was carrying wasn't all that she had left of Andrew Stein. As hard as it had been to grasp, given what kind of women they were, Sophia knew her husband had thought of Valeria and Lilith as his own daughters, and now she understood what he'd felt. Putting her hand on Lilith's head, Sophia looked up at Shadow.
Shadow, check with Ares. We're leaving.
To say he was surprised was an understatement, but he, too, found a sudden understanding.
Unfinished business.
After a quick conversation with Ares, in which he promised the engine wouldn't explode, maybe not without a warning at least, Sophia climbed back into the pilot seat, while Shadow got on the radio, prepared to track the transmission back to its source. As they lifted off, Sophia insisted everyone take a hefty dose of Radex. Lilith simply shrugged and said she didn't need to worry about radiation, but Shadow had readily agreed and given Sophia hers. She had gained a healthy amount of altitude, then guided the aircraft back east. Even trying to stay above the worst of it, the flight was increasingly rough the further they traveled, enough to prompt a little self-doubt in her newly found parental instincts.
Am I crazy? I must be crazy.
Sophia looked out the window of the vertibird at the glowing fog below, then across to her new co-pilot, Shadow.
Shadow, are we still on the right course?
So far, the signal is getting stronger.
The aircraft was buffeted by the turbulent air over what was left of Appalachia, and Sophia had to grip the flight stick to keep them steady. Worse, another warning light started to flash on the console.
Oh yes, definitely crazy.
That doesn't sound good.
It's the oil line again. Damn. Are we there yet? No, not yet. Shadow, how much farther?
Just keep going. It'll take too long to get a baseline to triangulate. The best we can do is wait until the signal strength goes down, then spiral back.
I don't know that we have even that long. These engine readings don't look good at all.
Shadow looked out the window. He thought he might have seen a puff or smoke or two from the repaired engine. As he tried to estimate how long it would be before it caught fire, the signal in his ear suddenly changed.
Sophia, come around! I think we passed her!
Where? Where?
Sophia looked down, and all she could see was more of the same glowing fog. Checking the rad counter, Sophia frowned. Even hundreds of feet above the surface of the fog, they were being exposed to a troubling amount of radiation.
Thank God for Radex. I feel sick. Shadow, I can't get any closer.
We're close. I don't think I can be more exact.
Sophia slowed the aircraft and put the vertibird into a circle around the area. Unfortunately, there was nothing below them. No landmarks, no nothing, just a blanket of death.
Lilith, I'm sorry. Even if she's down there, we can't get to her.
Lilith stood up and looked out the window, first looking down, then running to the opposite window.
We don't need to land. I just said get me close. Take me over there, to that peak.
fine. That one?
Sophia pointed at the blackened and blasted piece of rock sticking up from the fog. It was a couple of thousand feet from their present location, but it might as well have been miles.
Lilith, that might be impossible.
Just as the words left her mouth, another red indicator light blinked on, and the right engine coughed, forcing Sophia to compensate by adding power to the other engine.
Looks like we're out of time.
You promised. Just take me there. I'll do the rest.
Sophia looked at Shadow, who frowned, but nodded. Sophia coaxed a little bit more power from the engines, watching the pressure gauges like a hawk, and guided the aircraft across the distance to the very top of the old mountain peak. As the aircraft slowed, Lilith grabbed the handle and opened the cargo hatch. Removing the headset, she smiled and yelled,
This definitely won't be boring!
And then she stepped out into nothing. Sophia watched as Lilith landed roughly on the broken rock, rolling to cushion the impact, before briefly standing up and waving, before jumping down into the fog, disappearing from view.
Good luck, and Godspeed, you crazy cannibal.
Sophia wiped a tear from her eye and turned the vertibird back to the west. The engine lights continued to glow a bright red, and Sophia doubted the aircraft would ever fly again. But she did her best, and she did what Andrew would have wanted.
I hope you find her, Lilith. And I hope it brings you peace.
Trader Red sat underneath a tree, watching the world go by, and drowning her sorrows at the bottom of a jug of moonshine. The shine had been a gift from the grateful survivors. They had called her a hero.
Don't rightly feel much of a hero. Not at all.
Wiping the tears from the side of her face, Red took another long sip from the jug.
Didn't ask y'all to save me, Shiny. Done lost everything I ever had. Didn't want to lose you, too.
It had taken both Ares and Shadow to keep Red from throwing herself out of the vertibird to go help Shiny. The last she saw of him, he had been fighting a half a dozen Oni. Then the glowing fog had overtaken them all. After landing, Red had tried to pull herself together, finding herself in the middle of a throng of refugees, all wanting to thank her personally for saving them. It had taken every ounce of her strength for Red not to have just run away to find a place to hide and mourn her own loss. And even then, she didn't last long.
Red,
Hey, Ares.
you don't look so good. You okay?
I am very far from fucking okay, darling.
I'm sorry about Shiny.
He was all I had, Ares. Why is this damn world so unfair?
Ares walked over and sat down next to Red and put his arm around her.
I never did get a chance to tell you about that Assaultron.
Fuck you, Ares. I do not want to hear about no giant killer robot right now. No offense and all.
It ain't about the bot, Red. It's about what I lost. See, I had family too. A sister. Lord, she tried to keep me out of trouble. But I never listened. I thought what I was doing was important. Way more important than anything else. More important than her. But I was wrong. And it almost killed me, too. Been trying to make up for it ever since. I still have unfinished business. I never did find out what happened to my sister. For what it's worth, I'm going to try to find her. I owe her that much.
Why are you telling me this, darling?
Because you have unfinished business too, Red. That Mothman thing said so. Told me I need to find my sister. And I bet it told you something similar, didn't it?
Red wiped her nose on her sleeve, then looked at Ares.
But there ain't nothing left for me back there. Those damn Reavers, they took everything. Killed everyone.
Are you sure, Red?
I ain't sure nothing anymore, Aries. My whole world, it's all topsy-turvy now.
Shiny wouldn't want you to just give up, Red. Maybe that Deathclaw was something special. Maybe you made him something special. But either way, he saved you for a reason. And I never thought I'd be saying this, but listen to the damn big bug, Red.
It's not that easy.
Red, we all gotta find our place in this world. And this is a second chance. Not many folks get 'em, so don't go wasting it. Maybe Shiny knew that. That smart bugger that he was. Make it worth it. Red, make it all worth it.
Ares hugged Red, then got up and gave her one final little salute before walking off into the crowd. In truth, Red couldn't lie to herself. The hills of home called to her. She could feel it in her bones. The vision from the Mothman was just a reflection of what she had known all along.
Wish that I was on a rocky top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoky smoke on Rocky Top. Ain't no telephone bills.
Home was where the heart is, and it was time to set things right. Red put down the jug of moonshine and grabbed old Percy. She'd go see Antlers and Cherry, thank them one more time for saving her before saying goodbye. Then she'd get on the road. Red had no idea what she might find, but she owed it to her and her kin to show those Reavers that the hill folk still has some fight left in them.
Shoot. Where did that damn pack go?
Red looked around for her old pack. Shiny had been messing with it before. Probably smelled the leftover roasted mirelurk she'd been carrying around. Finally, she found the pack where she had dropped it before grabbing the moonshine to drown her sorrows.
Damn. I don't remember it being this heavy.
Red put the pack on the ground and opened it up.
Tarnation. You have got to be kidding me.
Reaching into the pack, Red carefully removed the contents, something that was definitely not there the last time she'd checked. There, in her hands, was a pristine Deathclaw egg.
My, oh my. I guess I'm gonna be Ma Red. Thank you, Shiny. I promise I'll take good care of this one. Just as long as it don't eat me.
Red carefully put the egg back in her pack before slinging it over her shoulder. With old Percy in one hand and her whole future ahead of her, Red started humming a little tune before walking back out to find her friends, and also before setting out on the road home.
Ever get so lost in your favorite game that the day slips by unnoticed? Do you need audio dramas and gaming pods to get you through the day till you can jump back in game? You're not alone. I'm inviting you to join me as we dive into a world of immersive lore and gameplay on my shows The Fallout Feed, Starfield Lorecast, and Dames Who Game, plus all the shows we do on the ASA Podcasting Network. On the Fallout Feed, we celebrate the world of Fallout and occasionally other RPGs, where rad roaches are far from the only bugs you'll encounter, and there's always a new way to tackle a quest. For Starfield fans, join me on the Lorecast. And on Dames Who Game, join me and my girls as we mix games, nerdy media, makeup, and our latest obsessions. With these and other shows at ASA Podcasting, we believe the best way to experience a game is to dive deep. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, you name it. ASA Podcasting, your next adventure starts here.
The wind whistled down the broken peaks, but the thick glowing fog remained undisturbed, laying like a blanket across the blasted landscape. The smoldering ultracite veins continued to pour rads into the air, much like the old coal fires polluted the pre-war atmosphere around the region. The earth still rumbled and quaked as it settled after the collapse of the mines and tunnel systems that had crisscrossed Appalachia, both from before the war and the extensive constructions of the pack. In the wreckage and ruin of this new world, nothing stirred. Well, almost nothing.
I did the best I could. Didn't I?
You know, you did good, Val.
Sure anymore.
Not so high and mighty now, are you?
Oh, shut up. Reynolds. You'll get what you want. Soon enough.
It will never be soon enough.
I thought you were going to save me.
I'm sorry.
You sat back and ate a snack as you watched me change. Do you have any idea how that felt? Did you feel anything at all?
I don't know. Tried to.
Time no longer held any meaning for Valeria. Her world had been reduced to only what she could see out of her cracked helmet, which was nothing more than several square yards of brownish earth, rubble, and the ever-present glowing fog. While the transmitter continued to send out her final message, she waited for her last card to be dealt. Waited for rescue. One of those little lies we tell ourselves. If she was honest, she was waiting for death to take her. Visions of the past plagued her. The dead haunted her. Some taunting while others mourned over her. In those few moments of what she'd call clarity, Valeria recognized that this only existed in her own mind. Possibly all of this. But still they came, circling her with both accusations and sympathy. Through it all, as she felt the burning in her limbs spreading to her core, she tried to hold a single thought, that it wasn't over yet. She might not be able to do anything else but wait for death, but she wouldn't hasten it, wouldn't greet it with anything more than a defiant stare. Every moment she looked up was another tiny gift, just not for herself. The corners of her cracked lip twitched up as she conjured a vision of Eugenie. In another world, perhaps, she could have been happy, but this was the course she had chosen, and it was now the course she'd follow, until there was nothing left of her at all.
Is that real?
The distant sound of propellers temporarily dispelled the ghosts, and Valeria grimaced in pain as she tried to move her head to track the thrum of engines, invisible in the fog. Mustering the final strength she had left, Valeria willed herself to move.
Get up. Just see me. Please. See me.
As she struggled to her feet, pain flared through Valeria's body. But the sounds of the aircraft were getting louder, inspired her to stand and take a step forward. Lifting her head up, she might have seen a passing shadow far above the fog. Valeria tried to lift her hand, to wave, but the strength to do so was no longer there. Words also failed her, with nothing more than a thin whisper of air through her ruined lungs. As the sound of the aircraft receded into nothing, Valeria fell to her knees, her hands reflexively clutching at the rocks and dirt of the broken ground. But they couldn't support her, and she toppled over. Everything hurt. Everything burned. Perhaps this was Appalachia's last sick joke, to keep her alive, give her a tiny sliver of hope, then snatch it all away from her. The wind laughing at her until she was finally allowed to die. More time passed, though it was impossible to say how much, as her mind drifted in and out of lucidity, and her body stubbornly clung to life, insisting on playing out what was clearly a losing hand. Valeria struggled to raise her head as she thought she heard the sound of footsteps approaching, the crunch of boots over the rubble. Through the dust-encrusted faceplate, she tried to get a look at whoever or whatever might be approaching. Unsure again whether any of this was even real, Valeria tried to will her body to move, but the muscles no longer worked, the neurons firing sporadically, bringing only more pain. The sound of boots got closer. Then she saw a shadow appear in the fog, heading towards her. Her vision was hazy, and as she blinked, the form became more distinct, until it stepped out of the fog and into the small little world that Valeria had left.
I thought that voice sounded familiar. Maybe if you tried your hand at becoming a singer instead of being a pain in my ass, you wouldn't be here right now.
The packed operative stood at the edge of the small rubble-strewn clearing, clad in a hazmat suit that looked a bit worse for wear. He was also holding a knife in his gloved hand.
Oh, your friend showed me the way. Shoving you down that shaft. He was fast, but I'm always faster. If it's any consolation, he died quick, unlike you. Got to give you credit, Valeria. Setting off those nukes. I never saw that coming. Don't think anyone else did either.
Gray 9 took a few more steps forward until he loomed over Valeria's prone body.
Thanks to my mutations, I was able to get out just ahead of the blast. That was one hell of a drop, and I'm surprised you landed in one piece. Those nukes had quite a kick, too. Of course, I probably never would have found you if you hadn't sent out that transmission.
Valeria tried to respond, but if anything came out of her mouth, it was inaudible, even to herself.
Did you actually think anyone would come back for you? Oh, I expect everyone's dead. My people, your people. And by the looks of you, you've made one hell of a grave for yourself. Hell, even I'm feeling the rads. But I'm made of some pretty hardy stuff. Whereas you'll be a pile of goo by the time this damn fog is done with you.
Gray 9 knelt down in front of Valeria and tapped her helmet with the butt of his blade, the crack growing a little larger.
That friend of yours, Lilith, she put up a hell of a fight. I took that knife of hers and stabbed her right through the chest. Only wish I could have watched the life bleed out of that freak. I would have enjoyed gutting you, too. Should have when I had the chance. But that's rads under the bridge now. Might be I just finish this. Rip that helmet off and carve your eye out as a souvenir.
Raising the knife, Gray 9 smiled.
Get away from her, you bastard!
Gray 9 spun around and saw a ghost.
No fucking way! You're supposed to be dead!
You didn't try hard enough, little man. You came close, but close doesn't count when it's me.
Lilith stepped further out of the fog, her camo jumpsuit torn from her climb down the mountainside following Valeria's transmission. Her FEV-enhanced cells made her as immune to radiation as any other super mutant, and her eyes burned with hatred as she saw both Val and above her, the man who had killed her girls, hurt her friends.
I'll never say no to a second bite at the apple. Once I've killed you, I'll kill her as painfully as I can, if she's even still alive, considering how she looks. Then I'll leave this shithole behind, and if any of your friends survived, I'll track them down and kill them too, nice and slow.
Grey 9 stood up and faced Lilith. He was slower in his hazmat suit, but he'd taken her measure. She was clumsy when she was mad, and seeing her friend about to die ought to be enough to send her over the edge.
You're not taking anything else away from me. Not now. Not ever.
Lilith had borrowed, well, stolen, Shadow's Bowie knife. Her eyes glinted as she brought the blade up. Grey 9 did the same, and as the glowing fog swirled around them, time seemed to slow. Valeria didn't know if this was really happening. She felt herself drifting slowly away. Through her hazy vision, she saw the two square off, the fog swirling around them, and then they burst into motion. It was impossible to keep track of who was who as Lilith and Grey 9 slashed at each other. Amid the blur of movement and the clashing of blades, to Valeria there seemed to be other figures, watching. A pair of mutant hounds, a battered and heavily modified suit of power armor, a surly young man with a broken nose and a Vault 76 jumpsuit, a concerned-looking woman in a similar jumpsuit, next to a man in a lab coat, taking notes. Real or not, there was nothing Valeria could do but watch along with them, until she heard a high-pitched scream, then another, cut off, followed by one last gurgling moan, as the two fighters crashed together a final time. They both remained there in a timeless moment, before one slid to the ground. Valeria lay motionless on the burnt earth, dark spots clouding her vision. All she could make out was legs kneeling next to a body on the ground. After a few moments, the apparent victor stood up and walked over. Valeria could see the pair of boots and blood dripping on them. And then a head landed on the ground in front of her, and she found herself staring into the dead eyes of Grey 9.
He took my girls, so I took his head. Good riddance to bad rubbish.
Lilith kicked the head to the side, watching it as it went end over end until it disappeared into the fog. Reaching down, Lilith took Valeria into her arms, wiping away the dust from her helmet.
Val, I got your letter, but I couldn't let you go. You're my sister. You're all I have. Please, please be alive.
Under the grit, Lilith saw Val's eye blink slowly and fixate on her. Her lips parted, barely, but without making a sound.
I know this is bad, really bad, but I'll take care of you. That's what sisters do, right? Whatever it takes. I'm sorry I wasn't there, Val. I messed up, but I'm here now. So please don't die. Please.
Valeria's arm lifted, with aching slowness, just enough to gently brush the glove of the hazmat suit against Lilith's cheek. Then it dropped back again. Whatever strength that had briefly held it there, well and truly spent.
No. I brought chems, Radaway, Radex, Medex. You're still alive. I can fix you. I can figure out what you need. Anything you need to get you out of here. I promise.
Lilith worked feverishly, desperately, wanting nothing more than to save her only family. And with all of her disturbed brilliance, if she'd had a fully equipped lab, if she'd anticipated the need weeks earlier, she might have actually changed the outcome. But in the here and now, she had done all she could, and it hadn't been enough. With tears streaming down her face, Lilith lifted Valeria into her arms and held her close as she turned and started walking north. Her mission was less urgent now, but there was still a deadline of sorts, and it would not be a short walk. And she had promised. The two of them disappeared into the fog, and the curtains of Appalachia closed behind them. North and west of what used to be Appalachia, a small compound sat nestled between the hills. Isolated from the world, it was a safe haven for those who had been shunned and hunted, a sanctuary from the horrors of the wasteland. When the light had bloomed on the horizon, it had drawn the attention of every resident, startled by the cataclysm, watching as the world seemed to end one more time, until the peaks that dotted what had been Appalachia were wrapped in that purple glowing fog. One resident in particular had known what had happened, and it had broken her inside. In the week that followed, she became a lone sentry, standing watch at the gate, looking for something, or perhaps someone, a tear always in her eye.
Eugenie, you need to get some sleep.
The ghoul trader looked down from her perch. Tears still streaked her face.
I know, Abby, but I miss her so much.
Her plan, that awful, terrible plan, worked. And we're all still here. She did it for all of us, Eugenie. She did it for you.
I know she did. I didn't want to lose her, not when we were finally happy. She never cared about things that didn't matter, but the things that did, she cared more than she let anyone see. I loved her so much, Abby.
We have a future because of her. I know we have all lost something, and it isn't fair. But we need you, now more than ever. Maybe we can help make things better, and make sure all that sacrifice wasn't for nothing.
I'll never forget her. Never.
Who is... Wait, that can't be.
It can't be, but it is. That's Lilith.
Abby opened the gate while Eugenie climbed down from the ladder and ran out into the clearing beyond. It was Lilith, and she was carrying someone in her arms.
Eugenie, you have to decide. Val, I tried. I really tried.
Val?
Abby had stopped in her tracks while Eugenie ran ahead to Lilith. She took one look and cried out in shock.
Oh my God, Val. Oh no, no.
Lilith put Val down carefully on the ground. The hazmat suit had been discarded, but she was still wearing the tattered remnants of her icebreaker uniform.
I tried everything, Eugenie. I really did. Nothing worked. She took so many rads. I couldn't.
Oh, Val. Lilith, what happened?
I went back for her. She called. She sang. I found her. I carried her out. Val is all I have, and I couldn't fix her.
You carried her all the way here?
I had to. She cared about me. Maybe the only person in the world who ever really would. But she loves you. This is what she asked for. She deserves to be here. She deserves to be with you, where she belongs.
Lilith, I thank you.
Just please take care of her.
Lilith put her hand on Val's head, brushing the hair from her face before leaning down and giving her one last hug.
Goodbye, Val. You were never boring. Ever.
Lilith stood up and turned to walk away.
Wait, where are you going? What are you gonna do?
Val told me to keep an eye on the world, and to only eat the really bad people. I think it's time for Lilith to be Lilith.
Without another word, Lilith walked out of the clearing and disappeared down the hill into the trees. Eugenie cradled Val in her arms and looked to the horizon.
You're home, Val. It's okay. You can rest now.
Once upon a time, 27 years after the bombs fell, there were two people, a vault dweller and a California girl. They met and sparks flew. That's when things got interesting. Once Upon a Wasteland is their story. Follow Elizabeth Kirby and Odessa Valdez as they pursue their happily ever after in the post-apocalyptic Appalachian wasteland of Fallout 76. Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and many other podcasting platforms. Once Upon a Wasteland, a Fallout 76 love story. Available now.
On October 23, 2102, the residents of Vault 76 stepped out into the new world of post-war Appalachia. The 25 years spent in the safety and security of the vault could not have prepared them for what was to come. Those same residents became the heroes and villains of a much larger story, one that has finally led us all here to the final tale of our Appalachia. As one story ends, it is but the beginning of many others. Putting the blasted and blighted wastes behind them, our characters walk forward into a brand new future.
Commander Johns, formerly of the New Responders, led the survivors of Appalachia into Ohio. He guided them down a treacherous path, as many cast the refugees as cursed or haunted by the events they fled from. Guided by the spirit of the Responders, Johns brought the people to a new home. Located just outside of the old ruins of Columbus, Ohio, this new settlement was christened Almost Heaven by its residents. And Johns was elected its first mayor. A dedicated leader, Johns guided the settlement through its formative years until he finally hung up his signature hat and retired from public life. A responder to the end, he spent his last days as a member of the Settlement Volunteer Fire Department. After his passing, a new fire station was built in his honor, one that stands to this day.
Sophia Daguerre Stein gave birth to twins, Andrew Jr. and Molly, in honor of her husband. Eager to pass her knowledge on to the next generation, Sophia became the first teacher, and later principal, of the Almost Heaven grade school. Her love of science also led her to establish the school's rocketry club, and for years afterward, crowds would gather to watch the annual rocket contest, sometimes with some very spectacular results. Sophia never remarried. Nobody could match up. Instead, dedicating her life to her children, then grandchildren, before passing quietly at the ripe old age of 85, surrounded by loved ones. She was buried with her two most treasured items, the garb of the Mistress of Mysteries and a simple gold wedding band.
Cindy soon settled into a semi-normal life with Amanda, helping to run the Stein and Dine. She never gave up on her dreams to see the world, and when the opportunity presented itself, Cindy joined one of the local caravans as a guard. Soon gaining a fearsome reputation as a crack shot and swinging a mean sledgehammer, Cindy's services were in a high demand, allowing her to travel everywhere throughout the old Midwest, building quite the collection of pre-war relics. In her later years, Cindy donated most of her trove to the Almost Heaven Library and Museum, where they can still be viewed today as part of the settlement's curated displays of artifacts.
While it was hard to completely leave her old raider life behind, Amanda soon became the respected co-owner of the Stein and Dine. Working with Duchess, the new restaurant and bar became known across the Midwest, serving some of the best food and moonshine in the wasteland. Amanda and Cindy were finally married in a small ceremony officiated by Mayor Johns. When Duchess retired, Amanda bought out her share and assumed full ownership of the Stein and Dine. She and Cindy lived out their years together in quiet happiness, though they never stopped surprising each other.
Sergeant Edward Muller worked closely with Commander Johns while escorting the refugees to their new home. After the establishment of Almost Heaven, Muller put his retirement on hold and instead became the settlement's first official sheriff. He and Melissa had 3 more children together, and when he finally hung up his metaphorical spurs, his oldest child assumed the mantle of sheriff and possession of his father's power armor. The mantle of sheriff and the sergeant's power armor have been passed down through the generations, and Muller's descendants have played an integral part in making Almost Heaven safe and secure.
Rededicating his life to helping those less fortunate and building a better future, Day assisted the refugees in establishing their new settlement, and he was the one who suggested the name Almost Heaven, in honor of the land they'd all left behind. Day also donated his father's old civics books to the settlement school so that a new generation could be educated on American history and how, hopefully, to create a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. When it eventually seen that those inside the settlement needed less help than those outside it, Day packed his belongings and returned to the wasteland and into the mists of history and legend.
Paladin Odessa Valdez and the remaining members of the Brotherhood of Steel 1st Expeditionary Force honored their fallen comrades by building a monument to them in the Almost Heaven town square. For some time, Beth and Odessa split their focus between diffusing threats, making contacts to help the new settlement, and investigating the old ruins in the area for artifacts and technology, but they never stayed apart for long. Once the Paladin had trained a proper successor, Odessa left the Brotherhood, and the couple departed Almost Heaven for parts unknown. But that, my friends, is another story.
Emily and Douglas had the honor of having the first marriage performed after the founding of Almost Heaven. As a nod to her new husband, Emily dressed up as the inspector, while Douglas, in honor of his fallen comrade, dressed as man-to-man. Putting her skills to good use, Emily established the Cryptid Research Project, assembling a dedicated group of fellow scientists and adventurers to investigate the mysterious creatures of the wasteland.
Douglas would assist his wife in all her projects, while also becoming a well-known wasteland writer and comic book author. Taking his experiences to heart, Douglas wrote his memoirs titled Team Cryptid, while also restarting the Unstoppables comic book series as the New Unstoppables. Issues of Douglas's work can be found at caravan stops all over the wasteland, with each edition dedicated to the memory of Private Lawson, to whom Man-to-Man's son, a new hero called the Beacon, bore a striking resemblance.
Harry's traveled the wasteland with Antlers and Cherry. Along the way, he finally found his sister. She had survived the war and built a family of her own. Well, the reunion was a little awkward. They soon were able to forgive each other for the mistakes of the past. With a renewed sense of purpose and hope, Ares lived out the rest of his life investigating the wonders of the wasteland. Putting pen to paper, Ares published numerous guides to the wasteland creatures and cryptids, helping fellow travelers avoid the dangerous varieties while living peacefully with others. No one knows where he took his last breath, and people still tell stories of the mysterious man, along with the legend of Antlers. Some even claim that they still roam the wilds, and for those who are very lucky, they might catch a glimpse of them still.
After years of searching, Graham and Charlie finally found their home. It was among the survivors of Appalachia, who grew to admire the super mutant for his skills at trade, and the annual meat cooks, which became known far and wide as one of the best parties in the wasteland.
Keeping her promise to Graham, Samantha stayed by the super mutant's side and became the co-owner of Almost Heaven's general store called Sam and Graham's. The unusual couple lived a long and profitable life among their friends, proving that love can bridge even the greatest divides.
Corporal Jameson finally convinced Weasel to go to a sock hop with him. Then convinced everyone else to help build a nice enough dance hall to make that a sensible option. The young man also became Muller's deputy, helping to keep the peace around the new settlement. Which worked out conveniently, as it was Jameson's wife, Weasel, that tended to cause the most trouble.
It took some convincing for Weasel to give up her raider ways, and she never managed to let entirely go of crime. But in the end, she found true love with her cuddly fluffy bunny, her Peaches, known to most as Deputy Jameson. Because if anyone else called him those other names, she'd forking stab them, deputy's wife or not. While they were still the source of numerous noise complaints, in later years, this was more because of their large and boisterous family than their other, less wholesome interests. And in the end, she really did like that sock hop.
Of all the survivors, none was happier to leave Appalachia behind than Bitter. It took weeks for his wounds to finally heal, and he spent his time playing countless hands of poker with Sullivan. They had gotten past the need to play for caps. Now, they just played as friends. After a few months and getting restless, Bitter convinced Sullivan to head out west to seek their fortune. For years, the two of them worked as mercenaries and caravan guards from the Mississippi all the way to the Mojave.
Traveling across the country as a hired gun and spending years playing poker, Sullivan had made more caps than he ever could spend in his life. He decided it was time to settle down and have a place of his own, and he even managed to convince Bitter it was a good idea too. Two of them set up shop on the outskirts of the Mojave, along one of the many caravan routes threading through the region. The small bar casino was a popular attraction, and one night, Sullivan was sitting down for a game of poker with a newly arrived caravan when he had an idea for a new card game. He didn't know it at the time, but that night Sullivan played the first hand of what would eventually be called Caravan, a new game that is still played in the Mojave today.
Dr. Naomi Harefield felt she'd had more than enough excitement for one lifetime. Upon arriving in Almost Heaven, she became the settlement's sole practitioner and enjoyed putting her skills to use for less insane endeavors. Treating normal wasteland illnesses and injuries seemed like paradise compared to what she had done in Appalachia. Not only was she there to welcome the next generation of children born from the ashes of those far-off hills, but Naomi also spent her spare time training doctors and medics who would take over when she finally decided to retire.
Shadow, having fulfilled his obligation to Valeria, soon left to tie up the last loose ends in his search for revenge. No one knows if he found the Overseer, or what he might have done if he did. But those who knew him could only hope that the big man finally found the peace denied to him for so long.
After saying her goodbyes, Trader Red pointed herself south. She had unfinished business in the Tennessee hills. A folk hero amongst the survivors of Appalachia, a small monument was erected outside the new trading post in Almost Heaven, dedicated to the cryptid who saved them and her Deathclaw companion Shiny. In the years that followed, what transpired in eastern Tennessee, an epic tale of revenge and remembrance, would eventually be immortalized in story and song, known as the Ballad of Trader Red.
Real or myth? No one really knows for sure what happened to Lilith after she disappeared into the glowing clouds of the wastes. If you believe the stories, she's still out there, creating chaos in the wasteland. So be careful poking around Old West Tech facilities or playing with FEV. You just might attract the wrong kind of attention. And Lilith is very, very hungry.
Visitors to the Almost Heaven Library and Museum can see one artifact valued above all, though its author might have considered that questionable. Placed in a special glass case, you can still read the last will and testament of Colonel Valeria Faustina. For you who read these words, know that I did what it seemed to me must be done. Even if it worked, I am truly sorry for what it has cost. But I have given you the only thing I could, a chance. The future is yours now, everyone's. as it always has been, even as some may still seek to convince you otherwise. Please, make the best of it, and remember everything that happened here, that it might never happen again, and never need to.
Greetings, people of Earth. My name is Shmo Brannigan. I have hacked into this RSS feed with a promotional feature for the Wizard Scroll podcast, transcribing in 3, 2, 1.
Hold on, let me unfurl this wizard scroll real quick.
I'm free! I'm finally free!
Bob, is that you?
Ugh, I ain't your mom anymore, kid. I'm a skeleton now. Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Jerry. Smell you later, loser. I hate my life!
Holy crap, wrong half. We've talked about this 17 times already. Your constant outbursts are not freaking sweet at all, and they need to stop.
Hello? Welcome to the Sorcerer's Slice. Can I get a name for the order?
Kid, you gotta make the order. They don't let me come here anymore.
What?
I was banned from coming here 74 years ago for cutting bad checks. Please, they'll recognize my voice. You have to order.
All right, fine.
The Wizard Scroll is available on iTunes, Spotify, Audible, and wherever else fine podcasts are found. This concludes today's promotional feature.
It was known as the Black Days. Stories whispered around campfires and told in the underground by the ghouls of the capital wasteland of a radstorm of epic proportions that came in from the west and blanketed the whole region for more than a week. The radiation was so intense that anyone caught in the open received a lethal dose within minutes. Even ghouls would turn feral if they spent any length of time outside in the storm. Beyond the scale of it, it was the color of the storm that burnt its way into the memories of the survivors. Instead of the greenish glow of normal radstorms, this one was heralded by a purplish glow on the horizon, followed by rolling black clouds, tinged with purple themselves as they poured across the landscape. When it was over, the survivors emerged into a dead wasteland. What the Great War had started, the Black Days finished. It would be decades before even a hint of vegetation would return to the region, and even longer before settlements would reestablish themselves and bring some measure of civilization back to the ruins. Even today, no one knows what caused the Black Days, only rumors and whispers of some cataclysmic event that occurred somewhere to the far west. Perhaps the truth lies deep in the region once known as Appalachia. But now it is a blasted ruin, given a new name, the Ultrasite Wastes. For those who dare to look, I pass along this warning. When you find the broken hills and the purple fog, turn away. Whatever secrets might be buried there should stay buried. For those who trespass in the Ultrasite Wastes, do not return.
Bob, you here?
In the back.
Well, look at what the mole rat dragged in. You look like shit. You okay?
Yeah, nothing some rat away won't fix. You were right, Bob.
Wait, you didn't.
It was a hell of a walk, but yeah. The wastes.
Holy crap, you actually saw it.
More than that, I went in.
Oh shit, really? Wait a sec. Here, that's enough Rataway to last you a week, or in your case, enough for that dose you must have taken.
Oh, that feels better. God, thanks, Bob.
So?
So what?
Jeez, don't keep a guy in suspense. What happened?
Well, it's as bad as they say. Maybe worse. It's been, what, like 10 years since it all went to shit? I saw that damn fog from miles away, and it didn't get any better up close, neither. God, no wonder folks think it's cursed or haunted or worse.
Damn.
I didn't go too far. I just wanted to get a feel for the place. And it's spooky as hell. But I could just smell the scrap. I bet there's a fortune of tech and goodies under all that shit. Man, if we could just get folks to pony up the caps for a good crew.
Don't know about that. Most folks won't go within 100 miles of the place. It ain't called the waste for nothing.
Well, maybe this will change their minds. Come on, I found something.
Wait a second. Is that an assaultron?
Sure is. Mint condition, too. Buried under a pile of rubble. Wasn't easy to get out, but it looks intact. You know how much we could get for this?
Shit. A Mint military model? Like, that's a lot of fucking cabs. That's for sure.
Ah, there's gotta be plenty of vintage tech buried out there. Fucking gold mine.
Hell, this could be the break we've been waiting for. Hey, let's check that bot out. Drag it back to the workshop. This thing weighs a ton.
Yeah, hey, right there. If I can boot up the system, I can maybe get it to walk on its own.
Saved my back from breaking, that's for sure.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get this connected up. And that should do it. Give me a sec to see what we got. Huh. Oh, looks like the original programming got wiped clean. Maybe by whatever the hell blew up the wastes. Oh, wait a minute. There's a reboot sequence in here. Huh. It says deploy receiver. Never seen that before. It must be part of the old hardwired code. And here goes nothing.
What's that?
Oh, must be the receiver. Says it's searching for connection. And it found something.
Charlie, you sure about this?
It's just an old bot. Who knows what the military was doing with these things? Says it's connected. What the hell is a Kovac Muldoon?
Beats the shit out of me.
Now it's downloading. Looks like new core programming and some kind of update.
I don't know if we should be messing with this thing like that, Charlie.
Yeah, it's fine. I got all the inhibitors engaged. Thing can't move unless I tell it. And there. Oh, looks like the new BIOS was accepted. With luck, we got ourselves one fully functional Assaultron.
I thought you said it couldn't move.
Huh. Yeah, probably just a calibration sequence. Let me just... Wait, I'm locked out.
Charlie?
Oh, crap. Is it looking at me?
It sure is.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Shut it down. Charlie, shut it down.
Oh, shit, I can't. Terminal access is entirely blocked somehow.
Greetings, member. Good help is so hard to find.
thank you again, members, for joining us here on The Modus Files. If you've enjoyed this content, please subscribe, and better yet, please leave a review to help others find our little enclave. You can also follow us on our various social media accounts, including Blue Sky, Threads, and Instagram, at Modus Files, or at Modus Files Podcast, for more information about our story and characters, Fallout 76 content, and random musings on the Enclave. We also have a Patreon if you'd like to support our work and receive special benefits like early access to our episodes, original scripts, and special events with our cast. A link to our Patreon can be found at modusfiles.com. I'd also like to thank our cast, Pandora Beatrix as Weasel and Colonel Valeria Faustina, Chrissy Williams as Researcher Emily and Trader Red, Lucy Middleton as Amanda, Kathy, and Major Lilith, Ryan Negrin as Day, Jessica Starr as Commander Sophia de Stein, Mandy Marie B. as Abigail Singh, Rhea Cheshire as Lieutenant Cindy, Josh Smith as Grey 9, Firewriter as Eugenie, Dr. Mark Harsworth as Albert Faustina and Bitter, DJ Reed as Captain Thomas, Daniel Hawthorne as Shadow, Aaron McNamara as Dr. Naomi Harefield, Ray Whitty as Scavenger Charlie, Rob Cunningham as Jason Barron, Eric Gold as Private Douglas, Vitreo Plays as Paladin Odessa Valdez, Ray Middleton as Commander Johns, George Krampus as Scavenger Bob and Ares, Aaron Atherton as Corporal Jameson, Jeffrey Tucker as Graham, Angela Yee as Corporal Samantha, Tim Young as Sullivan, and special guest star Letitia Lemon as Elizabeth Kirby, and Brad Williams as Sergeant Muller, Reynolds, and the voice of Modus. As our third season continues, we'd like to thank our cast, crew, the amazing patrons, our friends from the Modus Files Discord, and the entire community which continues to support our story. Stay tuned for our third season finale, Autumn. Lastly, thank you to all of our subscribers and supporters. God bless the Enclave, and God bless America.
Members, we look forward to your next visit to our little enclave.